Thank you so much, and thank you to Dan Harris for setting all of this up as the founder of Neurodiversity in Business. It really is a thrill to be here, and as you can see, truly cross-party. So SNP, Labour and Conservative members, and I'm sure there'll be Lib Dems and other parties, maybe from Northern Ireland as well, coming along today. This truly is something that we all care deeply about and is not party political. So, as you've heard, I chair the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Dyslexia, and I've been an MP now for 17 years. And I wasn't originally the chair. It's not one of the all-party groups that I set up, but I got involved because my son Joseph, who's now 28 and in the RAF, just about to move to Lossiemouth for his first big posting. That's right at the top of Scotland, for those who might not be aware. It's literally as far away from his mum that he can possibly get. So I don't quite know what I've ever done to him, but so he's just about to move there. He's severely dyslexic, and he was that little boy in school who didn't get the naughty label at first, but he certainly didn't have the dyslexia label. He had the lazy label, likes to talk, likes to chat. He was the very friendly, happy little boy, but I did start to see a change in him as he got older and would get more frustrated. And honestly, he was eventually diagnosed when he was 10 and statemented, because his year 5 teacher, when he was at, the year before, said, actually, I think Joseph might be dyslexic. Now, when I think about how many teachers, right from nursery, playgroup, nursery, reception, year 1, and I'm not dissing my daughter's a maths teacher. She's in Stevenage. My kids have moved I'm in the northeast. I've got one in Stevenage and one going to be in Lossiemouth now. Anyway, she, so nothing against teachers, but he'd had so many teachers who would try to help him learn to read, who would then basically make me feel as if the reason Joseph wasn't yet reading was all my fault. Do you read with them at home? I know you're very busy, guilt. I know you're very busy as an MP, but do you get much time to read with them? Yes, we read with them. You mean torture him on a nightly basis when I sit down and try and force him to read, and then, we turn the page and he's just learned whatever word he had just sort of sent it out and helped him learn is gone, just gone. And then sometimes I'd cry first, sometimes it would be him, but it never ended well. So yes, I did sit and talk to him every night, from, when you're supposed to, and teachers would constantly tell me we had to do this, we had to do that. It was all our fault. He also had delayed speech. Do you talk to him much at home? You can imagine how I felt about that question. But it was constantly made for me as a parent of a child that turned out to be severely dyslexic that this was all my fault. So when eventually a teacher said to him, his year 5 teacher said, actually, I think Joseph might be dyslexic, I was like, oh my goodness. So yes, I wanted that label, I wanted that statement. It was the happiest day, I don't want to say the happiest day of my life, but in that journey, in the SEND journey, him being diagnosed, I thought was going to be the magic carpet to everything. It wasn't, sadly, because all he then got was extra hours with very nice teaching assistants who couldn't help him any more than I'd been able to help him. What did help him eventually when he was 14 is I took him to Dyslexia Action and paid for intervention. Within a year, he had a reading age of 14 from no reading age. So he didn't need 20 hours, 15 hours with a teaching assistant who held his hand, and he would make them adore him because, he's very charming. And that was his strategy, how to cope. All people with an SEN or on the, neurodiversity will have a strategy on how they cope. We're going to hear from Matt and how Matt managed to get himself to university, not just any university, but Oxford, studying PPE without being diagnosed. So he'd obviously had developed strategies on how to cope with being, dyslexic. So Joseph, eventually was able to do his GCSEs, got himself to university, was going to go into the gaming industry. Cut a long story short, he ended up in the RAF. Transferable skills, and obviously his neurodiversity is now helping him to be an air traffic controller, which is because his brain, as you know, those who are neurodivergent know your brain works differently, and he has just got this amazing ability to see patterns and to see things that I certainly can't, and even my daughter, who's a bit of a genius at maths, doesn't. He really has skills. So this is what brings me to being thrilled to be involved when Dan approached, well, Matt initially approached me and then Dan, to be involved in this great initiative today. Over 100 brilliant sort of, top employers are supporting this initiative, and it really is needed. You all know who you all are. I won't list the 100 because we definitely want to hear from Matt, Paul, and then the Minister. But in introducing Matt, obviously, I didn't know Matt was dyslexic. He, as I've said, he got himself to university, got himself into the cabinet, no less as health secretary, whilst being dyslexic, but then eventually came out, if that's the right term, to much adulation and respect from everyone in this neurodivergent community, because to have someone who was there as a trailblazer, who could speak up for those who are neurodiverse, to say, look, this isn't something we should hide. This is something we're proud of, and we can all achieve great things with the right support, which I'm sure Matt will tell you about. So I first heard Matt talk about this at the big launch of Made by Dyslexia, and it was a great moment. So when Matt ceased to be in the cabinet and is now free to do more and follow his own passions, I'm absolutely thrilled to be working with Matt on this one, and a pleasure to introduce Matt to you.